Hey guys, it's Charlie. Uh, so I just got out of seeing Evil Dead Burn a second time, and I am pretty confident in saying that that is my favorite movie of this year so far, with Obsession being a very close second still. Um, I know Evil Dead Burn is not doing that well at the box office. Um, this is my choice. My thoughts are that it's the best Evil Dead movie that I've seen. It's okay. It's still kind of flip flopping between this movie and Evil Dead 2. The thing that I love about Evil Dead Burn the most is the fact that these Deadites have a mission. They have a goal. They are meaner. They are grittier because they have an actual purpose. They're not just there to mess with your head. They want something, and they are going to get it from you. And that's what I love about this one, because these Deadites were just so much more meaner, and I love the French aspect of this movie. I love it. I think it's the best possible thing that they could have done moving forward for the Evil Dead franchise. So yes, Evil Dead Burns is my favorite movie of this year. Even though Obsession is a great movie, simple plot, very simple plot, but director Curry Baker did a great job of adding his own nuances to that. And of course, that just also leads into what the other part of what this video is, which is I'm going to say top 8 now. It was 7, but I'm going to say top 8 favorite directors, because I haven't done a favorite directors list. So this is going to be spitballing off the top of my head. Top 8 favorite directors of all time in my mind. There's a lot of honorable mentions. I don't spend as much time as I should deep diving into certain directors' works. On this list, you're not going to hear Robert Zemeckis. Zemeckis is a great director. I love the Back to the Future franchise. Best film of all time. I don't have him in my favorite directors list because I haven't watched enough Zemeckis to really judge where I would place a director like Zemeckis. But Zemeckis is great. I don't have Chris Nolan on my list. Chris Nolan is also a great one. I have to see The Odyssey still. I've seen some of Nolan's works, like the Batman movies, of course. A few others here and there. But I haven't seen enough to really make a decision on how I feel about his personal directing style. So no, there won't be a Chris Nolan on this list. There won't be like my favorite giallo director, Mario Bava. There won't be like a Mario Bava on this list, or Lucio Fulci. I haven't seen enough of their stuff to really make that type of decision confidently yet. I'm still kind of working through those ones there. Who else? Sir Ridley Scott. Sir Ridley Scott and Walter Hill. Those are also two really great directors. Of course, Sir Ridley Scott did The Martian, and he did more well-known Alien. And I love Sir Ridley Scott for that. Amazing piece of work. I haven't seen enough of his other films to really say if I would put him in a top favorite directors. Or Walter Hill. Great director who gave us The Warriors, one of my favorite movies from the 70s. I have to see more of his stuff to really decide for myself if I would put him in a favorite directors list. Okay, so that's my spiel of honorable mentions, I would say there. Okay, so after that list, who did make it into my top 8? Well, number 8, maybe a hot take here, but I am going to say number 8 would be Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino, I love his style. I've seen all of his movies. Great guy. I really love what he has done to really put his niche into movies. So Tarantino, number 8 in my favorites of all times. I love his style. That's kind of low on the list, I know. and that's why it's kind of a hot take, but I have other reasons for why I feel that these other directors I would put above Tarantino deserve that position. Like my number 7, which is Dan Trachtenberg, the guy who has basically taken over for the Predator franchise since Prey in 2022. So yeah, he gave us Prey in 2022. He gave us Predator, Killer of Killers on Hulu, and then he also gave us Predator Badlands, which is maybe the first Predator film where I actually really cared about the Predators as a character. I'm an alien guy. I love the xenomorphs. Predator Badlands gave me a Predator that I could look at and I could feel the pain of that character and decide and just feel like I relate to that. I can understand where this Yautja warrior is coming from, and I want to know more about him. So yeah, the Predator franchise is in the best possible hands with Dan Trachtenberg. This guy is working towards building something. He's building towards an Alien versus Predator film. I get the feeling that he has in his mind an idea for an Alien versus Predator film that will have gravitas. And that's what the previous Alien vs. Predator films did not have, because they were just, I'm going to say it maybe as an insult, maybe it's a hot take, fan fiction. Predator vs. Alien and Predator vs. Alien Requiem are fan fiction. You either love it or you hate it. That's just my thoughts on it. I feel what Dan Trachtenberg is working towards is giving us a proper Alien versus Predator film, which will have the gravitas that we need. Something with weight, something to actually be worth a cinematic experience, like something with weight to it. I trust this guy to do that with us because he understands how to structure really good movies. If you don't believe me, look back at Predator Prey and look back at Predator Badlands. And get back to me and let me know what you think. Number 6 on my list, the legendary Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi is number 6. I love the Evil Dead franchise. We all know this. I loved his Spider-Man movies. I love how Sam Raimi, as a director, has really... His style... He does horror movies, we know this. But he also has that Three Stooges kind of comedy quality that he knows how to pepper properly, where it doesn't feel forced. It's just so off the wall, crazy, but it works. It works for an Evil Dead movie. It worked in Send Help. Sam Raimi just really knows how to give the audience what they want balance-wise. So yeah, Sam Raimi, he's number 6. Now number 5 in my top 5, Robert Eggers. Robert Eggers is responsible for giving us movies like The Witch. He also gave us movies like Nosferatu. He also gave us movies like The Lighthouse. He knows how to do period piece movies that make sense. That's what I feel puts him above other directors I've already mentioned. He is really good with period piece movies. I just saw the trailer, actually, for his movie Werewolf. That's coming out in December. Same time slot that they gave to Nosferatu a couple years back. I want to be there day one to go see the new Robert Eggers movie, because I know he will do historical, but he will do it in a way that makes sense, that doesn't feel forced. That's not an easy task to do when you're doing period piece movies, but he does it with ease. I can get the idea that this writer and director is a guy who loves to study history. He loves to study history, but he likes to make it make sense for people. And that's why I feel confident putting him at number 5 in my favorite directors of all time, because he's my go-to if I want to see a period piece movie. Like right now, I'm watching The Witch. That is who I go to. I go to Robert Eggers. I trust him to give us a classic Universal Monsters. That's the kind of director I would trust to do a classic Universal Monsters Dark Universe right now, is Robert Eggers. He's definitely, I would confidently say he's one of my favorite newer directors. Newer directors being like, say, like a Curry Baker, who did Obsession, or like a director like, say, Zach Krieger, who did Weapons and Barbarian. Like, I would put Eggers right at the top, right there, above them, because his niche is period piece movies, but he gives it his personal spin, and that's what works for me. Okay, so that's my number 5, is Robert Eggers. Amazing man. I look forward to seeing what he does with Werewolf and with future movies. Okay, number 4, I will call him the godfather of the summer blockbuster, Steven Spielberg. Jaws is the movie that made me love movies. I saw it at a very young age on VHS that my dad recorded off the TV, and I still remember watching the hell out of that VHS and having it only set on the SP mode, so only 2 hours of the movie was put onto the said VHS tape. So it always cut off right at the most like dramatic part when Quint's going for the machete and the boat is breaking down. So I never knew how that movie ended until I finally got a VHS of it. But yeah, that was pretty... I still remember that from being a child. That's just the magic of movies and what movies did to my mind when I was younger. Like, I loved Jaws. That's the movie that really showed me how storytelling in movies can make a difference. And then, of course, I mean, Spielberg also gave us amazing movies that I love, like Jurassic Park, of course. And I mean, so many other great movies, like Saving Private Ryan. He executive produced Back to the Future. He executive produced Gremlins. He really knows not just like his own style of what makes his movies works. He knows how to trust his directors that he basically takes under his wing, like Robert Zemeckis or Joe Dante. He trusts them to let their vision show, and he puts his name onto it, or at least that's how it was in the 80s. And I just mad respect for Spielberg for that. Spielberg would basically take the place of like a George Lucas. For me, George Lucas, if I was anybody else, would probably be in Spielberg's place right here. But I call Spielberg the godfather of the summer blockbuster, because without Spielberg and without his isms, summer blockbusters would be very, very different, and marketing would look so much more different, and it just wouldn't be the same, I feel. So that is the biggest compliment that Spielberg could have given modern audiences, is the summer blockbuster, the action movie that everybody loves to go to for the summer. You can thank Spielberg for that, because it wasn't a thing before. Summer just was another time to release movies. Nobody before him ever thought that you could actually market a movie for the summer release and have it make back more bang for the buck. You can really get more money if you market a movie properly, and that's what Spielberg showed his generation of directors moving forward. So yeah, Spielberg is my number 4. My number 3, James Cameron. I'm specifically talking about 80s era James Cameron. So we're talking like Terminator, which is still, in my mind, the best love story movie ever written. Amazing. Go back and watch Terminator and look at it just from the angle of a love story, and then go back and look at it from the angle of a horror story. It's got elements of both, and both of those work. I love James Cameron for that. He really gave us something in 84 with the Terminator that's still amazing to this day. It was like catching lightning in a bottle, what he brought us with the Terminator. He did a great job with Aliens. I love Aliens. That's my favorite alien movie of all time. Second favorite movie of all time. Used to be my first until Back to the Future worked its way up there. So yeah, and I mean, he gave us The Abyss. James Cameron in the 80s was an amazing writer-director. A lot of his modern stuff, it's just okay. It's not horrible. It's just okay. But my peak James Cameron would be in the 80s. Now, my number 2, the master of suspense, Alfred Hitchcock. I have not fully gone through Hitchcock's library. I always find good stuff in Hitchcock's stuff. Whenever I go back and find something new of Hitchcock's I haven't seen yet, there's always something there that I can look at now and be like, this inspired this. This inspired that. This is what Hitchcock was doing here. This is what his generation of writers and directors learned to do better. Hitchcock is a legend. So yeah, he's my number 2. Show me somebody better. Show me somebody better than Hitchcock as a writer-director, and I'll look over their stuff. He's a legend. And then my number 1, of course, John Carpenter. I love John Carpenter movies so much. What I love about John Carpenter movies, it's not just that he's the Halloween guy. He's the guy that gave us The Thing. He's the guy that gave us Big Trouble in Little China. He's the guy that gave us Escape from New York. He gave us The Fog. A lot of these movies, they didn't do that well when they first came out. But on second viewings later on VHS, audiences realized this guy had a vision. He is a masterful director. Some of his movies, they don't do very well the first time around in theaters. People go back later on VHS and they realize it was a masterpiece. He's got so many movies that are masterpieces because they were given a second appraisal after the fact. And that's what made him great. So yeah, John Carpenter is and will always be, for right now, my favorite director of all time. Alright guys. Peace.